In 2007, the Africa Finance Corporation launched as a joint venture between public and private investors, with a vision of becoming Africa's leading infrastructure solutions provider. Since then, the institution has developed a footprint across 35 African countries and invested about $10 billion in infrastructure projects continent-wide. The AFC just marked its 15-year anniversary, celebrating this milestone with key stakeholders in Lagos, Nigeria.
We are a bridge between international capital markets and Africa. One of our most distinctive comparative advantages is our investment grade rating, and we have protected this rating during some of the world's most turbulent times. We still have it and will continue to focus on improving it. Our strategy is crystal clear. We will continue to grow and diversify our capital sources. What this raising does for us is that it allows us to remain the bridge between Africa and the international capital markets. Today, we celebrate our 15th anniversary, and we've come a long way. The Africa Finance Corporation is a powerful symbol of Africans taking ownership of our development and future in our own hands.
At the event, I had the opportunity to moderate a fireside discussion with the President and CEO of the Africa Finance Corporation, Mr. Samaila Zubairu.
You raised the point of Africa's infrastructure deficit, and when we look to the future, currently there are about 1.3 to 1.4 billion of us on the African continent. By the year 2050, I believe that figure is going to be looking more like 2.5 billion, which only increases the challenge when it comes to bridging that gap in infrastructure. How is the AFC planning ahead for this future, a future of such a populous Africa? And in terms of funding, what sorts of funding and support is needed for the AFC to really fulfill its role as a finance development institution?
Again, a very good question. So, when I joined AFC 3.5 years ago, we were about $4.1 billion of balance sheet, and I challenged my team that we would be $10 billion in 5 years. We need to scale up our size. I was just having a conversation now with the chairman that we need more capital, and he agrees with me. And I've had earlier conversations with some of our investors on the need for them to invest more capital. Some of them agree, some don't. But I think in the end, they will all agree with me that we need more capital, and we need AFC to be a $20–25 billion institution. And we can achieve it.
The Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, also joined us on stage.
We need to have, local, regulations where investment, private sector investment can come into public transportation. And that is very, very important. Toll roads, toll bridges, these are some of the things that you see everywhere in the world, and I want to appeal to my people that that's the only way we can do it. That's the only way where we can attract that private sector investment, and they can stay with us 20, 25, 30 years, and just wait, for some of those recoveries to happen.
The AFC is on a mission to foster the economic growth and industrial development of African countries while delivering a competitive return on investment to shareholders. Key stakeholders spoke on the contribution of this development financial institution on the African continent over the past 15 years.
It's actually quite significant because when AFC got created, it was the first time, I think, African capital, both private sector and public sector, got together and said, let's create an institution for Africa by African capital, right? So that's a hugely transformational decision that was taken. And over the 15 years, if you see the investment presence that we've had, which I'm sure you heard from the other speakers, and the sort of projects that we have created out of nothing, it has actually affected a common man.
I think AFC has been highly transformative. For 15 years, we have almost a 10 billion balance sheet. We have shown that you can you can build, develop, and construct African infrastructure and still deliver returns and huge development impact in the African continent. So it is about an instrumental AFC for an instrumental infrastructure for the African continent.
They have, invested quite a significant amount on the continent. They've even gone into getting bankable transactions, which a lot of the other DFIs have not done to date. So I think, they have made an impact, and, I'm looking forward to the next 15 years.
As the Africa Finance Corporation looks to the future, the belief is that it is time for Africa to sit in its rightful place on the global stage. By encouraging greater investments in Africa by Africa and providing solutions to Africa's infrastructure deficit, the hope is that existing infrastructural gaps will be closed, developing the continent both for present and future generations. Laila Johnson-Salami, Arise News, Lagos.